Hey guys, welcome back to Erin in Copenhagen. Everyone knows the famous Belgian cartoon character Tintin, but did you know that it was allegedly inspired by a Danish boy adventurer? In February 1928, Danish newspaper Politiken put out a front-page call for a healthy boy to travel around the world. They were running a competition in honor of the 100th birthday of French author Jules Verne, who wrote Around the World in 80 Days, back in 1873. The idea was to break the record of the 80 days that the protagonist narrowly managed to achieve in the novel. Politiken was convinced, with all the modern modes of transport in the 1920s, one could do it in 50 days. Palle Huld did it in 44. Palle was a red-haired, 15-year-old apprentice mechanic who beat out hundreds of other boys who applied, and was ultimately picked by Politiken to go on an all-expenses-paid, around-the-world trip. He could use all modes of transport except air. Already by March 1st, 1928, that's less than a month after he applied, Palle boarded a train at Copenhagen Central Station towards 𝗖𝗛𝗣𝗘𝗥𝗬𝗧 before hopping on a ferry over to London, England. In addition to London, he also visited Scotland, France, Germany, Poland, Canada, Russia, Japan, and China. Upon his return to Denmark, just 44 days later, he was greeted by a crowd of 20,000 people at Rådhuspladsen, before being body surfed out by policemen to the nearby Politiken offices. His story was a sensation in newspapers around the world. Palle quickly published a book within the same year about his travels, which notably reached France and Belgium by October 1928. Just 3 months later, in January 1929, the first Tintin cartoon was released by Belgian cartoonist Hergé. People later picked up on the similarities between Palle and Tintin, from the red hair to how he dressed, to simply his story of a boy adventuring around the world. Even the world's foremost Tintin expert, Belgian Philippe Godin, stated articles about Huld were in Belgian newspapers and his book had a notable impact. On Hergé being inspired by Palle, he concedes it is a possibility. So, there you have it. I don't doubt that Hergé brought most of his own original ideas to Tintin, and I think a lot of his inspiration simply came from the time period in which he created it. The 1920s was a dazzling anything-is-possible era, with new forms of transportation and technology being invented constantly. There was definitely a romanticized image of world travelers or adventurers that captured the world's imagination. So, at least in a small way, Palle certainly did play a small role in that zeitgeist. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to hear more Danish trivia tidbits like this, make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.